Beginning of the film, we see that the comet Clark destroyed 75% or more of the Earth, and even 5 years later, the planet has not fully recovered. Its debris still orbits the Earth and occasionally falls to the surface. The Garrity family, along with others, survived the impact by hiding in a bunker in Greenland. The people in the bunker are trying to rebuild the world, but the new reality has become chaotic. Radiation has scorched many areas, and sudden electromagnetic storms destroy everything in their path, forcing them to remain underground. After 5 years, everyone has somehow adapted to these new living conditions. Now John Garrity works as an engineer and explorer and is on a mission. While investigating an area, he sees a new fissure opening and lava flowing. He heads toward the sea, where he finds some lifeboats and a destroyed cruise ship on the shore. He inspects them, but they are all empty. He then goes inside the ship to find something useful. He receives a warning from the base that a storm is brewing, but it will take time to reach him. He coughs heavily and takes off his mask. While searching the ship, he finds a flower inside a book. The base informs him that the storm has already arrived, and he must leave immediately. He runs from the ship with the storm right behind him. He races toward the base and asks them to open the door. They open it, but cannot keep it open for long, because the radioactive storm will enter. Therefore, he tells them to close it. He reaches just in time and jumps through the closing door right before the storm hits. Inside the base, his wife Allison has become a leader. They are in a meeting where Edmund, another leader, states that their supplies are already low, and he hopes they can try planting outside next year. However, Dr. Amina says this won't be possible, and they will have to abandon the base by air because it is no longer sustainable. While Canada and the United States have been destroyed and Iceland has disappeared, Allison says she has heard that Western Europe is relatively safe because fewer storms occur there. But she is reminded that radiation is still present there, and even a small amount is harmful in the long term. Someone asks about the crater, and Dr. Amina explains that the main part of the comet that fell in Western Europe created a massive crater. According to estimates made with her colleagues, the resulting mountains and the depth of the crater are blocking radioactive winds, making that place the best for new life to flourish. However, the general says it is too far from Greenland, and there are reports of fierce fighting in Europe. After the meeting, John visits a psychiatrist who asks how he is coping with this new lifestyle. John says he has gotten used to it now. The doctor advises him to share everything openly with his partner. Suddenly, the bunker begins to tremble, but it stops after a while. The general says there is nothing to worry about, because if the bunker survived the impact of Clark, it can withstand this earthquake. Then, Allison asks about the distress signal they received, but Edmund says they cannot take in more people because the bunker is already full. Allison doesn't want to abandon them and requests a vote. The majority votes in favor of the rescue, and the general agrees to send a rescue team the next day. Allison and John's son Nathan attends the bunker's school and is interested in the stars. The teacher explains that a part of the comet Samara is still trapped in Earth's gravitational field and has formed a ring around the planet. John is fixing the water plumbing system with his friend, and they are very happy after successfully repairing it. Allison and her son go to the community hall and find John there. John gives her the flower he found in the ship. Allison is worried about his exploration missions because he is exposing himself to radiation, but acknowledging his effort, she thanks him. Then they talk to their son, and Allison mentions that Nathan was seen outside. His father scolds him, saying it isn't safe out there. But John gets annoyed when Nathan asks if he can go outside, and Allison remarks that he is becoming exactly like his father, always wanting to be outside, even if it isn't safe. They dance for a while to enjoy the rest of the night. Nathan goes to his room to look at the stars, and makes constellations by poking holes in his bedsheet. The next morning, a team sets out for the rescue mission. Leaders and military personnel monitor the mission. They successfully rescue the people and are returning to the base. John goes to work and sees his worried friend. Just then, he sees a crack forming in the wall. The rescue team asks for permission to go to another location where more people are trapped. Edmund says they cannot take any more people, but Allison wants to discuss it. Suddenly, they lose contact with the team. The bunker begins to shake violently. The power goes out, and the walls begin to crumble. Everyone scrambles to save one another as the place starts to collapse. After the earthquake stops, John gets up with his friend's help. He first runs to his wife, supports her, and is relieved that she is fine. Then they run to save their son. He is fine and is already prepared with a mask. They tell him to take essential items and his insulin, because he is a diabetic patient. John runs to get some masks. Wearing the masks, they try to leave the bunker, but the exit is already crowded with fleeing people. John leads them to another exit, which has collapsed. However, they somehow manage to crawl out from under the concrete. He opens a door, but it starts to shake. They run outside before it falls on them. Outside, people are running toward the sea. For a few moments, they lose their son, but then find him helping Dr. Amina. After this, they move toward the sea, where people are already trying to board lifeboats. They see some people trying to steal Edmund's mask and immediately go to help him. In the confusion, someone steals John's mask. They somehow get out of there and see an open lifeboat. In haste, they board it and close the door because the boat is full, while people are still trying to get in. The pilot starts moving the boat away from the shore. Suddenly, a massive wave is seen approaching, and they brace for impact. The tsunami sweeps away the people on the shore, but they survive safely in their boat. Now they have to decide where to go. They only have 1 week's worth of supplies, so they decide to head toward England. John feels that the radiation is low, so they can take off their masks. Days pass, and problems arise in the boat, but being an engineer, John fixes it. At night, Nathan enjoys watching the night sky. They can see the comet debris still trapped in Earth's orbit. Nathan shows his father the stars he learned about in school. Suddenly, a meteor falls from the sky, and they wonder where it will land. The next morning, the boat stops again, and the pilot says they have run out of fuel. Now they are at the mercy of the current. Days pass, and everyone becomes restless. Then their boat hits something. They go outside and see an underwater structure. John says he recognizes this place. It is Liverpool, and half the city is submerged in water. They steer the boat toward land and, after disembarking, must quickly find shelter. They see people nearby and follow them. They find a rescue bunker where people are trying to get in, but the military is guarding the entrance. They go to the gate and state that they are from the Greenland bunker and seek refuge. They are asked for identification, but only Allison has hers, while the others have lost their IDs. The soldiers do not let them in without identification. The people behind them try to force their way in, and seeing the chaos, the soldiers shoot Edmund and fire more to close the door. In this turmoil, they get separated from the group. A radioactive storm is approaching. John tells Amina they must leave quickly because Edmund is gone. The 4 of them stop a car and ask for a lift. The driver asks for his watch in return, which John gives him. They escape the radioactive storm. Dr. Amina asks if the world is like this everywhere. The driver replies that the world is now a dangerous place where people don't hesitate to kill to survive. These storms come from anywhere and kill everyone in their path. They decide to go to London, where Allison's friend Mackenzie lives. They had spoken 8 to 10 months ago, and it seems she had everything needed to survive. Nathan asks Dr. Amina if she believes in the crater. She says yes, just like in the dinosaur extinction event, where an asteroid wiped them out, but new life emerged from the destruction. If that hadn't happened, we wouldn't be here today. The driver stops and says they are only half an hour away from London. John starts talking to the driver and says the crater sounds nice, but maybe it's just a fairy tale. Nathan comes to his father, and suddenly, the ground starts to shake. John yells at everyone to grab something. He grabs Nathan and clings to a tree. Countless meteors fall over them. They hold on tight until everything calms down. John sees the driver running toward the car and stops him because meteors are still falling. He sees the driver running toward the car and stops him because meteors are still falling. The driver says the car is everything to him and runs toward it. At that moment, he is struck by meteor debris and killed. After the meteor shower stops, they come out, take their belongings from the car, and walk toward London. They reach Mackenzie's house, where she stands ready with a gun. But seeing them, she becomes very happy and invites them inside. The house is full of Alzheimer's patients. She says they have no idea about the meteors, and she tries to keep them happy. This is her life now. They enjoy the night, and when John asks about the crater, she says she has only heard rumors. They hear gunfire in the distance, but Mackenzie says not to worry because London is safe. She has made the place as secure as possible. While sleeping at night, Allison hears John's heavy coughing and goes to check on him. She is shocked to see him coughing blood. Then John tells her that working as an explorer in radioactive air has taken a toll on him, and the truth is he only has 6 weeks left. He doesn't want them to worry about it. Allison says this is a hospital and he can be treated here, but John says he doesn't want to die there. They must go to the crater. He wants to spend his final days helping them find a safe place and giving his son a better life. The next day, they prepare to leave. Mackenzie gives them a car and some supplies. She gives them a gun for defense and tells them to leave quickly. From there, they need a boat to cross the English Channel. Due to the long car ride, they start playing games to pass the time. Amina is shot, is firing at them to steal the car. They get out, and John grabs the gun and shoots back. He tries to attack from behind, but John knocks him down. His ammunition runs out, and a man approaches him. Then Allison fires with the dead man's gun. They check on Nathan, who is fine, but Amina does not survive. They bury her in the ground. John says a few words to give her a proper burial. Nathan asks why we pray for the dead. John says it is for luck in the afterlife. After driving for a few more hours, they reach the English Channel but are surprised to see that the entire sea has disappeared, and solid land has formed from Great Britain to France. On the positive side, they don't have to leave the car. They then drive toward France. A few hours later, they see that all the cars have stopped because of a large canyon ahead. And move forward. Survivors have built a bridge to cross the canyon. The front of the bridge, but Nathan gets scared. John tells him to be brave. They start crossing the narrow bridge. A very strong wind is blowing, and the atmosphere is terrifying. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind comes, but they somehow hold on. They cross the bridge and reach a central platform, but there are more bridges to cross. Then the ground starts to shake, and they have to move as quickly as possible. They crawl forward on a ladder bridge. Another earthquake occurs in the middle, but they hold on tight. The rope bridge breaks, and many people fall. The ladder is also shaking. A man tries to turn back, but the path is blocked. Seeing the bridge falling, he jumps onto their bridge and collides with Nathan. Nathan ladder, and John holds his son while the platform falls. They go forward and reach the other side. The picture falls into the canyon. They walk toward France, but they can't really tell if they have reached France or not because everything is destroyed. Suddenly, a man points a gun at them. John introduces himself and says they mean no harm. They just crater. The man lowers his weapon, shakes hands with them, and tells them to come with him. He takes them to an abandoned mill in Calais. He has made that place his home and uses electricity from solar energy. They filter the radioactive air as much as possible. He introduces his wife and daughter, Camilla. His wife is paralyzed and cannot speak, the result of the radioactive air. They eat together. The man asks why they want to go to the crater. John says they heard it is the promised land and humanity's last hope. He explains that the place is extremely dangerous because the remnants of the Western Alliance and the French army are fighting the Eastern Alliance, which wants the crater's resources, and the entire area has become an impossible war zone. At night, Camilla shows Nathan her room, and Nathan shows her his blanket on which he made stars. Allison asks John what his father had told him privately while going to the bunker. He says he made him promise to protect Allison and Nathan. The next morning, the Frenchman gives them a map and explains how to avoid the war. It will be difficult, but upon reaching the Western Alliance base, John must meet Commander Janet and show him a photo because they were friends, and he will help them reach the crater. Then he requests them to take his daughter with them, because she deserves a better life. Hearing this, Allison says they will take Camilla safely to the crater. Camilla says a heartfelt goodbye to her parents, and they set out for the crater. On the way, they stop for a bit to play family games. Just then, some soldiers spot them. They are from the Western Alliance, and tell them in French that this area is restricted for civilians. While the others are, Camilla tells the soldiers in French that they are looking for Commander Janet, who is her father's friend and promise to get them to the crater. The soldiers say it's possible to go further. Then John asks them for help. At night, a soldier guides them through the war zone. The Western Alliance are fighting a fierce battle for the crater. The soldier tells them they somehow reach excavated by the Western Alliance. After passing countless bodies, the soldiers take them to a truck and drop them at a base camp where Commander Janet is located. Camilla says those mountains are new, which means the crater is right behind them. They see many civilians waiting to go to the crater. John speaks to the person in charge and asks about Commander Janet while showing the photo. The soldier shows him Commander Janet's body. They ask for the direction of the crater. He says they cannot help and orders them to leave, but John requests the soldier, saying he is a dying man and only wants to take his family to the crater. The soldier tells his subordinate to make room for them on the bus. They board the bus and finally depart for the crater. During the journey, bandits attack their bus. They kill the guards. When the driver tries to escape, they shoot him. They tell the people on the bus to get out and say that this is now their bus. Everyone is forced off. John tells the others to move ahead. After everyone gets off, John attacks a bandit. His friend tries to help, but the other people knock him down. 2 gunshots are heard from inside the bus. John comes out, alive but injured, and they care for him. Everyone gets back on the bus, and Allison drives. After a while, the bus can't go any further, so they get off and decide to walk. With the help of others, John climbs the mountains. Reaching the peak, they see the massive impact crater, Clark. The place is exactly as they had heard: fertile land, fresh water, and a clear sky free from radioactive air. Seeing this scene, John asks them to take a break, and the joy of reaching there is clearly visible. Suddenly, he falls to the ground and says that seeing everyone arrive safely has given him peace. A short while later, Afterward, Nathan repeats that become a fitting farewell, and he takes upon himself the responsibility of building a new and better world with kindness, compassion, and understanding.